Hey, what is up, mortals? It is welcome to Season 1 Part 6 What If Toga Was a Hero? Now with that out of the way, let's get into the story. Himiko's hand reached out to All Might and she wished for him to give her his blood. He watched as the Kirishima rushes to Deku. All Might and Toga rushed to their side from afar and he stared at her hand. He let her use his blood by holding her hand and she felt the container on her backpack fill up. The girl let the blood tubes fill with his blood and she consumed it. Her body changed along with her clothes to resemble All Might to the greatest detail. She then carried him away somewhere secure and walked over to where the original All Might was. Yo, are you alright, young hero? She played the part as the #1 hero and tried to pull off an amazing All Might impression. Wow, you really are amazing, All Might. The girl nodded her head as the heroic muscle head while Toshinori in his skeletal form hid behind a structure witnessing her quirk in action. You should probably check up on your classmates, see if they're injured. She gave Kirishima a thumbs up while posing dramatically. That's not how I look. That's not how I look at all, he said to himself quietly while rolling his eyes upward in disbelief. Kirishima then ran over to where the entrance was to see if any of his classmates were hurt. Himiko sighed in relief and walked over to Midoriya, who was still on the floor. I gotta say, you look pretty cute. She smiled warmly, except she still looked like All Might, so the moment she was trying to have failed immediately while Midoriya was shocked that he heard his idol call him cute. The day was saved, and all is well for now. Himiko played back the whole event in her head while walking home. Her phone was out of battery after not charging it the whole day. The students were dropped off at the campus for medical treatment and they were able to go home when recovered. She opened the door to her house with her key and stepped into her house, taking her shoes off. Himiko's mother ran towards Toga, hugging her. Got a call from the school saying that you were attacked at the USJ. Are you okay? Are you hurt? Her mother was the only one there at the house. Her father was probably working again. Yeah, Mom, but I'm fine now. Worried that something would have happened to you. Where were your teachers when this happened? An instant flashback reached Toga, remembering what happened to Aizawa and hearing about what happened to 13. They barely made it out alive, but they did their best to keep us safe. I don't know if it was a good idea to let you apply to UA. How can you say that? Look at what happened. You were attacked. Something could have happened to you. I understand, but I'm going to be a hero one day, and this kind of stuff would happen on the daily to weekly, I'm guessing. I'm scared. I know I shouldn't be because you're a strong girl, but I am. I need you to be careful, please. Himiko's mother held her daughter tight, making sure she wouldn't let go of the once small girl with beautiful golden eyes. Mom, I'm going to be okay. Have people looking out for me. The two held each other for a while. Her mother always supported and loved Himiko without a second doubt. Toga always appreciated the things her mother did for her and continued to embrace one another. The next day, Himiko walked to Class 1B to see her mentor after what happened. She slid the door open and bowed to him in respect. She then sits over on his desk and he sits down to talk about what happened. I'm guessing that was you posing as All Might. How do you know? There, plus you called that kid on the floor cute. She raised her hands to her eyes and shook her head. You saw that? Her embarrassment showed like a flag on a flagpole. The whole thing, and I have to say it's pretty impressive how well you fooled that redhead. You saved Toshinori's ass. Not only that, but I also heard that you got a clean hit on that guy's face. He noticed that when she was hearing the praise, she relished in it, making him smile a bit. More importantly, I'm proud that you used your quirk for good. Can't stress how important it is for you to know that, kid. She nodded, proud of herself. She did use her quirk for good, but quickly thought about her instructor. Wait, what about Aizawa-sensei? Is he okay? She worried for him after seeing how messed up he looked. Yeah, he's fine. I mean, recovery girl had a field day on him, so he should be up and at M in the next couple of days. I think. He wasn't too sure, but he was certain that in the end Aizawa was gonna pull through. In return, Toga sighed and calmed herself. Have to get in a meeting soon with the staff and the police to figure out what we're dealing with here. Another reason why I called you in. Do you remember what that kid looked like? The one you hit. She remembered his scarred pale face, his ashen hair, and his lanky body almost like a skeleton. She shuddered looking into those hateful red eyes, something a true villain would look like. She explained to him in great deal and realized that she had his blood in her costume, in one of the packs that contained his blood in her backpack. She thought it would be useful against the Namo, but it would be even more useful now. I have an even better idea. In my costume's backpack I have a container of his blood. I was gonna use it to stop that bird thingy, but this is a better time for it. This is perfect. Way to go, Toga. Even more praise for his apprentice, and she loved it. The hero told Toga to wait in his room while he heads down to collect her blood pack. He had access to the hero costumes of each student and picked out Toga's hero costume. He saw how similar it looked to his and wished that she had some originality, but it was sweet. He accessed the backpack and took it with him to the room she was waiting in. He gave her the blood vial and she drank it in one go. Her face formed into Shigaraki's face. The pro hero inspected her and grabbed his cell phone to take a picture. Himiko quickly posed childishly and performed some poses. He gave her the temporary look of seriousness and she calmed down and took the photos like it was a mugshot. She smiled and melted his face off hers. Did you get it all? Yes, I did, Miss Toga. I appreciate the service. As a reward, I'll let you take a piece of candy from my bowl. She quickly grabbed a lollipop from the bowl that was presented to her and she picked the cherry-flavored lollipop. Before we get back into the story, I would like to say that we've got a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes over the hard facts of the anime presented. Now, in case you guys didn't know, we have a third channel called We The Celestial Naruto What If. We The Celestial Naruto What If mainly focuses on our Naruto What If series. If you are interested in content like this, please go check the description below or click the eye icon in the top right corner. Now, with that out of the way, let's get back into the story. The two separated with a hug and she resumed her classes. The homeroom class of 1A sat talking about what happened and who was going to be teaching the class if Mr. Aizawa was in the hospital. Attention! Homeroom class is about to begin. Everyone stops talking and get in your seats. Dude, we're already in our seats. You're the only one standing. With shame, Ida sat down and covered his head. So Tsu, who do you think will teach class today? No idea. I'm sure it's someone new since Mr. Aizawa is in the hospital. An ominous presence entered the room as a bandaged man with long black hair and a sling greeted the class with a monotone and unimpressed sigh of anguish and despair. Morning class. He limped over to his desk, dragging his right leg and pushing himself further to get to his podium. I'm sorry, weren't you supposed to be in the hospital? Toga asked from across the classroom in worry. Well-being is irrelevant. What's more important is that your fight isn't over yet. No one knew what this really meant. The automatic reaction was that more villains are coming to attack them again. But he was mentioning the UA Sports Festival. This was the infamous sports festival to get sponsored to join hero agencies. Ochako was surprisingly even more pumped up and serious. Deku, Ida, Toga, let's do our best in the sports festival. She wasn't her bubbly self anymore. She looked as if the fighting spirit of the war god Ares entered her and possessed Uraraka. Toga slammed her foot on the ground and posed menacingly to look intimidating. Good grief, it looks like I have a worthy opponent approaching me. I'm gonna do my best, Toga. No, I'm gonna do my best, Ochako. The class just witnessed the two getting even more pumped up than everyone else. The four walked out of the class to head to lunch. They were talking about the sports festival while Uraraka revealed to the two boys what her motivation to win was. Her family always had problems with money, and she wanted to become a pro hero to help pay off their bills and debts. Toga already knew this and remembered a time where she asked her father to help give them a small loan or something. He, however, didn't care and wished that she would leave his presence. He was a cold man. She always wanted to prove him wrong. The next couple of days, everyone in class were excited to compete in the sports festival. Toga made sure to train with Vlad King when possible. She knew it was televised, so she wanted to make her family proud of her. 2 weeks before the sports festival, everyone wanted to leave class to head home. But a horde of UA students blocked the path. They were all looking at the students in Class 1A. Why the heck is you all here? You students have some business with our class. They're scouting out the competition, idiots. We're the class that survived a real villain attack. They want to see us with their own eyes. Bakugo scoffed. Honestly, I don't think anyone wants to see you with their own eyes. Himiko smirked, trying to poke the bear. Shut the hell up before I kill you. You're all talk. You know how many times you said you were gonna kill me. Can't wait to kick your ass in the sports festival. So, this is Class 1A. Everyone looked to the crowd to see where the voice was coming from. Heard you guys were impressive, but you sound like an ass. Is everyone in the hero course delusional? Or just you? The two blondes angrily stared at the boy who talked them up just now. What was that? How sad to come here and find a bunch of egomaniacs. I wanted to be in the hero course, but like many others here I had to choose another track. Such is life. Consider this a declaration of war. If you don't give it your all, I'll take your spot from right under you. Bakugo walks away, and in turn so does Himiko. She must take this competition seriously. If not, she will be replaced. Idiot. He barked at Himiko. He turned around as they got away from the students who surrounded them. You think you can win a fight against me? You can barely use your quirk. I don't need a quirk to beat you. You need a hell of a lot of training if you're gonna go against someone like me. He saw how she fights. She is fast, but not fast enough to match his movement. You need to be fast and ruthless. She stayed quiet and walked away from him, but he was right. For once, if she were to survive, she needed to be even faster and merciless. The training that led to the sports festival focused on stretching, sprinting, breathing, and jump rope. It helped her get faster so far, and the gymnastics she took also played a key role. While training with Vlad King, she focused on evading and lunging. She had a hard time getting to him quickly, but he showed her how to dodge more effectively but using his quirk to make a sword. He lunges at her and uses free hand to attack her when she dodges his attack. At first it was difficult because he was not leaving any room to let her dodge effectively. But through time and repetitive movement, she understood that the opponent will never let her get a chance to breathe. Instead of dodging once to attack, she had to keep her body moving and in turn catch the opponent by surprise and overwhelm them. A day before the sports festival, Himiko's mother walked into Toga's room to check up on her. You should get some rest. The sports festival is tomorrow, and you need to be energized and ready to compete. She smiled. You're gonna watch it tomorrow. Of course, I'm your #1 fan. Is Dad gonna be watching? The room went temporarily silent and Himiko's mother nodded. He will. I'm sure he's not working tomorrow, so we'll watch it together. I'm actually kind of nervous. What if I don't do well? What if I end up screwing myself over and fail the moment I start the competition? Himiko's mother sat down next to her on her bed. I'm sure you'll do well, Himiko. The days I took you to gymnastics and saw you perform all these incredible flips and tumbles, knew you would become something greater, not because of your flips, but because of your strength. You're the one who never gave up in gymnastics. You're the one who never gave up when you applied to UA. And you're the one who never gave up on yourself. I'm proud of you, baby. The two shared a tender moment, almost as if it were a fairy tale. If she never had her mother or anyone in her life that helped her push forward, she wouldn't be here today.